know it.
Hey, what's wrong, guys? It's Dignal here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make the effect you have just seen on screen. And before getting to the video, I'd just like to remind you guys to please do that like and that subscribe button by watching the video. So also leave a comment down below in order to help me make more money. So yeah, with that being said, let's get right into the video. So what you're going to start off by doing is obviously just import your clip. Now, I would like to say that this is most likely going to take a long fucking time. I have not started with, actually recording a tutorial yet. I'm doing this as we go. But my general assumption would be that the video is going to be pretty fucking long. So, yeah, just get ready for that. Yo, I just want to say before we get into the video, the project file to the preview will be in the description if you just don't want to bother with a 30-minute tutorial, whatever it's going to be. So yeah, the project file will be down there if you just want to try and figure it out all by yourself. Please remember to sub, like, follow me everywhere, fuck it, whatever. Let's get back to the video. So what you're going to want to go ahead and do is just go to your song, just mark out the impact, where you want the actual, transition thing to start, where you want it to sort of be in the middle, just mark this out, if you have anything in the middle, and then where you want it to end right here. So, for me, I'm just going to go ahead and go to this first one right here, and I'm going to go ahead and sync this up, just when the character shoots right there. I'm going to go ahead and fade it in, and what you're going to want to start off by doing is just applying your Twixtor. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do pretty much everything here so that you don't have to worry about it. Literally anyone should be able to recreate this effect perfectly. So if you do have any friends that are maybe a bit simpler, then just go ahead and send this tutorial to them and they will be able to do it perfectly, hopefully. So just go and apply your Twixtor. These are my settings. You can go and copy them if you want. And we're going to go here. We're going to add a keyframe right here. We're going to go 4 frames back from here. And that is going to be here. And then from here, we go 8 frames back. So here, we set this to slow. Set this to 50%. Set this to slow as well. Go forward and go 1 forward. Set this to 50. Go back here and drag this up until we get sort of here. Now it might fuck up and do something like that, which is just sort of annoying, but just go ahead and work with it. And I don't even know, man. Okay, it should be better now, I think. Yeah, there we go. So now once you've added your Twixtor, what you're gonna go ahead and do is just split it roughly here, just in the middle of these two. We're gonna split it right there. And what we're gonna go ahead and do is actually just render this out. Just render it out in very high quality. This is obviously going to go back into your video. So make sure you render this out in the exact same quality you would the actual edit. Now it doesn't have to be 4K, of course. If the clip is 1920 by 1080, just render it out in 1920 by 1080. Go ahead and enter that. Let's do 0809 tutorial 1. Just like that. And we're going to go ahead and render out this Twixtor, and I'll see you guys when this is done. Alright, now once the render has completed, just go ahead and drag it in and just go ahead and delete the audio. Now, I did delete the audio from the other track, but that's not really important right now. It doesn't really matter for me. So once you have gotten your Twixtor thing rendered out, what you're going to go ahead and do is go to your second beat where we want the transition to start. Go ahead and right click, quick insert move envelope, and freeze frame a cursor. Go ahead and split this and literally just make a new video track like that. Go ahead and control click that up, delete this. And right here, we're going to want to make a whole bunch of video layers. Now, the amount of video layers you need depends on how many things you actually want to sort of crop out. So we can just go ahead and count what we want in this picture. So we have our character, we have this pump, we have this, we have the numbers. So up to 4, we have this map and these. This is 5, 6 right here, 7 down here, and then 8. So not counting the background, we're going to want to make 8 new video tracks. We just duplicate this 8 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, once you've done this, we just have to get started on actually masking this. So essentially, what you're going to want to do is I'll just show you an example of the first time, and then I'll just go ahead and drag in the presets that I prepared for this. So just enable mask, then just go ahead and mask whatever you want out. So let's go ahead and do the numbers first. So just zoom into the numbers, go into your pen tool up here, just go and click around these until they look sort of decent. So just go and click around just like that, and make sure to connect them like that. Everything should light up when you're connecting them, and everything else should go dark except for the number. Now just go ahead and do this to the other numbers as well, just very quickly like that. You don't need it to be exact obviously, but you do want it to be sort of good looking, because otherwise then, you know, there will be a noticeable decrease in quality in the actual finished product. So once you have actually just cropped these out, just go ahead and do the literal same thing for everything else you want to crop out. Now you can go and go into the preview of this video, just scroll back or whatever, and just go and count what I have actually cropped out. You can go and crop out these same exact things, but the general rule of thumb is you want to crop out the actual elimination thing, you want to crop out your health bar, the character, the numbers, just a couple items floating around. If there aren't any, you can add them, but you know, that's not really relevant. If there aren't any, just don't do it. We have the map up here, we have sort of this, and we have our items. Now this won't exist most likely for you guys depending on what type of clip it is, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, just go ahead and crop all of these out. I'm gonna go ahead and import the actual crop things that I prepared, so there you go, you guys won't have to see me doing it. Alright, so we are now completely ready with the masking. I have imported all of my different masks right here, and at the bottom we have 2 different video layers that are just completely blank. So make sure you also have that. You just at the bottom you have 2 different video layers that are completely blank. So now, once we have done this, we're going to get started with the actual background. So what you're going to go ahead and do is actually just go into this first one right here, go into your video effects tab and search for tint. Now just go ahead and apply default right here. I'm going to go ahead and drag this in a bit. Go into tint lights, just click on the color and scroll until you find this sort of blue shade. Now you're going to want to go down here and sort of go to like this color roughly, just like that. These are the numbers if you want to copy my exact settings right here. So yeah, just go ahead and do something like that. All right, now once we have added the tint to the background, everything should be looking sort of like this. It should be a bit bright or dark, and the foreground should be a lot brighter. So what you're going to want to do right now is actually add the finishing touches to this exact scene. So what you're going to go ahead and do is just add 2 new video tracks right here. Just go ahead and insert text media, and just go ahead and type in, let's say, edited by, just like that in all caps. Now this text can say literally whatever you want, but I would recommend that you say something along the lines of edited by if you want to make it, you know, cool. I don't know. Then just go ahead and use the font Burbank Big Condensed Bold. Should look roughly like that, and you can just go and Google it and you'll find the font, so just go ahead and use that. Now once it says sort of edited by, we're gonna make it roughly the same size. I'd say we just overlap it right there for now, and it should look sort of like that. Just go and do that. Now go ahead and hold Control, drag this up. Just replace this text with Dignal, Control A, go to text color, click on the color and drag this down to red. Now go ahead and drag this to the side, just like that, and just make sure that they are lined up and that they look, you know, like they belong to each other essentially. So what you're going to go ahead and do now is actually change the position of literally everything here. So what we're going to do, or what we're going to have when this effect is done, is we will have the impact right here, and then we'll have a beat check right here, which actually transitions this into the actual sort of transition. So as you might have seen in the preview, all of the things right here just sort of floating around and getting bigger and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to take care of right now. So essentially, just make sure that you have no effects on any of these. I don't know why this has an effect. Oh yeah, it's tint. That's my bad. Just make sure that none of the masks have any effects on them. So we're going to start off by just literally manually applying fucking everything here. It's going to be very annoying, but it is necessary for this effect to work in Vegas. So unfortunately, since you can't pre-comp shit, it's just what we'll have to do. So what you're going to go ahead and do is just get started by adding like a drop shadow to the text. Just go ahead and drag or search in that. Just go and copy these settings if you're interested in that. And now we have a drop shadow on that. We're going to go ahead and actually apply a drop shadow to pretty much everything. It really shouldn't be that bright. I would recommend that you find something that is not quite as bold as this. I'd probably say something along those lines. let's just say background 2. Let's just name that background 2. And we can just go ahead and start applying this to every single fucking layer here. Now, we're doing this so that things actually stand out a lot more, and so that they actually look, you know, a lot better. Because if you don't do this, then it'll just look like everything blends in, and it really won't look all that great. So just make sure that you have applied that to everything but the 2 bottom layers. And once you have done that, we're gonna go up here and we're going to click on the cropping tools. So the cropping tools, essentially what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be making everything bigger. So we're making it bigger so that the actual beat shake has a lot more impact, and that so that we can also just start covering up the background stuff. There's a whole lot of reasons why we're making this bigger, essentially. So you can do this by either using the cropping menu, or we can just apply a blur mode curves preset. Now I did say before that I was going to use a cropping tool thing, but I'm realizing now that using a blur mode curves preset could actually be a whole lot quicker for me personally. So I think that's what we're going to go ahead and do. So just head into your video effects tag, go to blur mode curves, and just go ahead and go here. Now, as you can see, I've already set up a couple of things right here when I was doing this preview, or I was doing this effect initially. And I have set up a 1.2x right here. And this effect is essentially just literally just 0.8 distance right here. And the only thing you need to do is you just need to drag that in, go to the center right here, and just go ahead and recenter the text and everything so that it ends up in the same place as it was when we applied the effect. So we just go ahead and go here, and we need to center it like that. Now the next thing we have is the actual rendering preview right here. Now this is a bit less important because we're going to end up moving this later, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. What you're going to want to do is just keep changing everything right here. So this should be like right here, I would say, sort of like that. And yeah, just keep adding this to literally everything. Now it is pretty easy to get lost in like what you've already added blur mode curves to, I will admit that. But, you know, fuck it, we out here. And if there is like an item that we have cropped out, we just want to make sure that this bigger thing actually covers that item. This so that you don't really have to content-aware fill it. Now, content-aware filling is definitely possible with this effect, and it is what I did with my practice edit. But I honestly will not be doing this with this particular effect in this tutorial, just because it's just very, very fucking annoying, and I don't really like giving Photoshop tutorials necessarily. So, yeah, now once we have cropped everything out like that, should look something like that. Now, this is only a basis. Of course, we will need everything to get a whole lot bigger as well. It appears we have forgotten the pump. Now, this is what's really fucking annoying. I don't know which one the pump is, and it is that one. Lovely. So just make sure that covers it, just like so. And now what we're going to go ahead and do, once you've done everything like this, is actually plan for where we want to zoom in. Now for me, I'm going to make it like a sort of a hatch in the sky right here. But for you, it could be like removing a brick or something like that. But I want you guys to decide that now. And once you've done that, just go ahead and follow my steps here. So at the bottom, we have 2 different sort of tracks that are non-cropped. So just go and copy the tint to the bottom one, make sure they both have tint. And what you're going to want to go ahead and do is actually go to the top one right here, and just sort of click on the rectangle tool, whatever you want, and just go ahead and execute the idea that you had. So for me, I'm going to be doing a hatch in the sky. I'm just going to make it a fucking big-ass hatch here, just like that. And there's literally just a hole. So if we mute this, you'll be able to see that there is a hole there. So what we're going to go ahead and do is actually click on this and go to this normal edit tool, and we're going to set this to negative. And now what we're going to go ahead and do is copy these event attributes onto the bottom layer by pressing Ctrl+C and then go down here and then pressing paste event attributes. And now we go into the mask and we set this to a positive right there. Now, it will look like that. There will be like an outline here. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go into the bottom track, and we're just going to make this hatch a bit bigger right here so that it actually covers out all of the black parts. So now you're gonna want to decide when you actually want the thing to open and where you want the sort of zoom in to end. So the zoom is gonna end on this marker for me, so we need the hatch to be open here. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is head up into the position tab right here, which is the tab over, and we're just gonna go ahead and drag this, I'd say, down for me. So if we wanted to go up, we can do that as well. Obviously, it is just up to you. I'm just holding shift and dragging it up or down. And yeah, just go and decide on that. Just right click on this. You can set it to either fast, slow, or smooth. That is up to you. Just test all of them. I'm gonna set mine to smooth. And as you can see, the hatch opens right here, which is great. If this is on a brick or something, you're just gonna wanna not make a rectangle. You're gonna wanna like crop it out and then just move it to the side, up or down. Literally whatever. You can also just make a hole, fuck it, like go into something, go out of something, you know. You're gonna want to choose something that fits your clip and that actually makes it sort of unique. So once you have done that, we have basically everything set up and ready to go for the actual zoom in to commence. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do is apply shake to all of the items we have cropped out. We're also going to readjust some things. So I'm going to just go and save this. We go 0809 tutorial. And now let's just get started on the shake. So we just head into the VFX tab and search for shake. And I'm going to go ahead and try to find something that actually sort of works here. So I genuinely have no clue what shake I can use here. We could try mask shake right here. I think this is the one. So you should just copy these settings roughly. So 0.2 amplitude and a 1 on the normal. It should be like a slow, just moving around, so like that, just sort of fluently. And just go and copy these settings. Everything here should be left untouched. I'll just open it for you guys just to make sure. And just go ahead and literally apply that to every layer right here. Now, yeah, once again, this is just very, very annoying to have to do. Now, Vegas is unfortunately shit, so we will have to do this manually for all of these, but once again, it is what it is. So once you've done that, we don't want to apply it to the background. If there is not a mask on it, we don't want to apply it to there. So as you can see right here, we have done this. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is start from the top, and we're just going to fucking throw this phase about. So I would honestly, for the text is the one thing I would not change individually, so just leave that as it is. And then for the other shit, just go ahead and fuck around with the phase. Nothing can be the exact same because then it just looks weird. So just go ahead and make sure that the phase is changed for all of these. So fuck it, that can be like that. This can be like that. That can be that. And I have no clue how many I have left. This maybe? No. 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 And this has no shake. Great. So everything should be moving a bit differently. As you can see right here, everything should be moving independently. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is actually just go ahead and readjust some things that we want to make bigger. And just go ahead and do that. So as you can see right here, this edited or this eliminated icon is a bit small. So this would be the one. We're going to the cropping tool, go into position, and we're going to make this a whole lot bigger and just sort of to the side right here. We're going to make this very, very big so that we can actually see it. So let's go ahead and rotate it a bit as well. Fuck it. Make it a bit bigger even. And we can just move it like here. Screw it. Make sure you are on the first frame once again, and that there is nothing like really in the way. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do the skin right here. So I want the skin to be a lot bigger because the skin is generally the main focus of the thing right here. So we're just gonna make it like that. We can rotate it a bit as well. Just make sure that it covers the initial skin as well. And the last thing we're gonna do this for is the map right here, because the map is big, but we want it to be bigger. So we just drag that out just like that. We want it to be sort of a big part of this, you know? We want it to be a big part of my life. So we can just, that is way too fucking big. I want it to be a big part, but not that big. We just do it like that, and we can just go ahead and rotate it a bit as well, screw it. And like that. And now suddenly we have a lot of different movement right here. So if we just go and pre-render this, it'll take a long ass time, but everything should be moving independently, smoothly, and everything should be in place essentially. Let me just make sure I'm recording because that would be a fucking catastrophe if I wasn't. Great. And if we play this back, great, everything should look like that. So now, essentially, there are a couple things you can do if you really want to, but if not, you can actually just go ahead and render this out. I will be adding some other things, but if you're a lazy fuck, you can just go ahead and render everything out. But what I will do is, first of all, I will just go ahead and go to the numbers crop, which should be right here. And I'm going to go ahead and add psycho stripes to this. Just go ahead and copy the settings. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the blur, source blur to nothing. And we're going to go to the phase speed 0.3. And all of a sudden, the numbers went from being boring to being like that, which is very cool. And yeah, with that being said, there are a couple other things we can do as well. So what we're going to do is actually add a slight glow to every single layer right here to make everything look a whole lot better. This is one of the reasons we initially added a tint to the background to actually make the glow stand out and to make everything look good. So I have two presets right here. We have a 0.2 and a 0.4. So I'm going to show you what both of them are. So if you're just going to apply the 0.4, these are the settings right here. And we're going to add the 0.4 to everything prominent, everything we want the audience to see. So this is going to be the thing right here, the skin, and the edited by text. So right here is 0.4, and the 0.2 is obviously the same settings as the 0.4, but you know, as a 0.2 amplitude instead. So we have 0.2 right there, and this is going to be 0.2, and that is also going to be 0.2. Once again, just really fucking awful how you have to do this, but you know, once again, it is what it is. 0.2, 0.4, and for the skin, if it is this sort of aqua color, I'm just gonna go ahead and change the color of the actual glow, play around with these settings a bit. I think that looks great. And yeah, just go ahead and do that. And now once you're done with that, all of a sudden everything looks a whole lot better. So yeah, what you're gonna go ahead and do now is just zoom it in essentially. So what you can go ahead and do is actually just render all of these different things out. So what you can do is, or what you're gonna want to do here is dependent on what you want to do with the transition. I'm not going to be showing you what you want to do after the zoom in this specific tutorial, but if you have your own ideas or anything like that and you want this to be transparent, the actual lid right here, if you want it to be transparent, you can go ahead and render this out with QuickTime. Now QuickTime is going to make it so that you can right click on it, you go to properties, media, and you go to alpha channel, you set it to straight unmounted, and it'll become transparent. But if you don't care about that, and if you just want to do a fade to black transition or whatever, and if you don't care about it, you can go and render it out normally. So that's what I'm going to do, but I will show you how to do the QuickTime as well. So QuickTime 7 is obviously just sort of a program or a plugin or whatever for, I believe it is MOV files and stuff like that. You can just go ahead and Google it. It's very, very easy to install. It's free. So just go ahead and do that. And these are the settings you're going to want to use for a transparent render right here. So just go ahead and use these. These are the highest quality settings you can get to. Unfortunately, QuickTime is sort of low quality, but once again, it is what it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and render it out with my normal render settings right here. So let's do Twixtor like 6. I don't really know. I don't really care either. So we're just going to render all of this out, and I will see you guys when this is done. Alright, so once that render is done, just go and drag it on top of all of those. Just go ahead and uncheck the solo things right there. Go ahead and press that on the top. Go ahead and delete the audio track, and you should have the impact right here, and then it should become that. So what we're going to go ahead and do is actually apply the beat shake that is in the description. It'll be 22 frames back, so we go right here and there, and just go ahead and split it right there. Go ahead and add the beat shake, and if we go ahead and just pre-render this, it should look like this. And right there. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is actually add blur mode curves to this to actually zoom into the triangle right there. So just go ahead and apply default blur mode curves. Just go ahead and add Z distance to this right there. Go ahead and go into this middle one right here. Go to the center point right there. And go ahead and set this to 0,5. Now go ahead and just do this again, literally. But we're going to start this a bit earlier this time. So go and set that to slow. We're going to start a bit later. So now we just go ahead and go to here, go and add 1 right there, go here, set this to 0,5, fix the center, just go and copy the center from the other blur mode curves and drag that up there, set this to slow as well. Now go ahead and do this a third time, just go and set the center right there, go up, go a bit more forward, keyframe, and set this right there. Now the reason I'm doing this is because there is no fucking graph in Vegas, and this is the closest we can get to actually making a smooth zoom in. Now it's still not great, like I have to say, it is still not amazing. But we're doing our best. We're having fun. We out here doing coke, fucking bitches, you know the drill. And yeah, on the last one, if it's pretty close, just go ahead and zoom everything in to the end. And hopefully it should look like that. So yeah, if it is quick, just go ahead and decrease the amount on the actual zoom ins. So if this is 0,5, we just set this like 0,75. And after that, you can just go ahead and add more blur mode curves until it gets in. But yeah, that is really about it. Once you have done this, you know, there's not much I need to say. Now, the actual project file to the initial preview will be in the description. If you can't quite figure out how to do the zoom in, I can't even remember. If you can't figure out how to do anything, essentially, just go ahead and copy that. The clip will be down there as well if you want to just recreate it for some reason, you know, I don't know. But yeah, that is really about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like down below, comment, subscribe, all the good shit. And I'll see you guys in a couple days, and peace.